read some emails, but this is an email that's relevant to what we're talking about right now. Box office versus streaming in the future. Mm-hmm. Addresses what you're saying, Martin. Hey, Corey, I just heard you and Martin talk about box office performances when compared to streaming these days. And the filming is interesting. The timing is interesting because I just saw this 2013 interview with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. Mm-hmm. And it's downright crazy how they predicted the state of streaming in theatrical movies. George Lucas in particular predicted so many things that have happened now. You can take a listen for yourself. It is freaky how much they predicted. I don't see how long this is. If it's too long, we won't worry about it. But
you couldn't just tell us?
Yeah, I know. I would tell you, but
the person that wrote the email.
I know. I would tell you, but I don't have any more information than you.
There's going to be eventually mega budgeted movies are going to go crashing into the ground, and that's going to change the paradigm again.
Going to the movies, it's going to cost you $50, maybe $100, maybe $150. The movies are going to be these big ticket items because people will still take their chances, and they will sit in the theaters for a year, just like a Broadway show does, and that's going to be what we call the movie business.
What do y'all think about that?
Well, I don't even know about that last part.
Yeah, he had me until the end in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people sitting there. I don't know, but anyway, up to that last part.
Oh yeah. Well, we're seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Theaters closing, but the ones that are open, they're making them fancier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
they're trying to do all like gimmicks and stuff too. Like you can smoke in this theater now. They're trying to bring that back.
Are they? Really?
Oh yeah, there's one that you can smoke weed in. I feel like you're just gonna end up like Cape Fear. You know what I mean? Just smoking a cigar, laughing, right?
You just laugh, smoke everywhere.
I know they're doing all that craziness with the popcorn buckets, and that's out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still believe that that's a fad.
Oh, it's a fad.
Yeah. Now, Julian Himmerding and I, we were arguing about whether that's a fad or not because he loves those buckets. But listen, Julian has been proven to be right sometimes while I'm wrong. So I don't know. But let me just say this. I hope it's a fad. Those buckets are stupid.
There's great programming, usually more interesting than what you're going to see in the movie theater. And you can get it whenever you want. And it's going to be niche marketed, which means, you can really take chances.
Wow,
he nailed it there.
Yes, he did. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. In fact, we're talking about we have too much good stuff on streaming as far as TV shows go.
Yeah, and you look at a channel like Shudder, where it's just, horror and mystery, or horror and thrillers.
They're even doing something now that somebody tried to do a while back. I don't know if it's QB or whatever. It was the one where they would film stuff vertical, I think.
And, the one bankrupted.
Yeah.
And it was only chunks of something. That didn't work, but there's a few channels now that are actually doing that.
Really?
And they're making money.
Oh.
Yeah, they're selling these soap operas in little chunks. No big actors or anything.
Yeah.
And they're getting millions behind it. So I don't know if that's gonna last.
Oh, you know what? I saw one of those. It was so cheesy. I couldn't stop watching it.
Oh, that's
they get you, man.
Yeah.
And they're making money. It's like about 2 or 3 places doing that. Patrick was
Patrick Chin.
He did cinematography one for one, or he directed one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and he said they make crazy money. Man, I want to hear what else they got to say.
There's going to be a price variance. You're going to have to pay $25 to see the next Iron Man, and you're probably only going to have to pay $7 to see Lincoln. I mean, there's going to be that is going to be in our future as well.
Man, boy, these men on point.
They know what they're talking about, right?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they see it, and they probably see these things a lot closer than we do. So, man, and they're not the only ones. Some people were also saying this. I remember on Spill, we were talking about, I remember saying how I believe you're going to get a theater. And this hasn't really happened yet, if it ever does. But I thought, at some point, you're going to see a theater where they're going to have a coffee shop in there, they're going to have a restaurant in there, not just going to be serving food in the theater, but you'll be having a bowling alley in there, and you're seeing something like that now.
Yeah.
They have these places now where we got one here. And a lot of people still don't give it enough credit. The Millennium.
The Millennial Youth Center.
The Millennium Youth Center.
Oh, it's pretty run down now.
Oh shit!
I've been there. I've been there recently. It's not what it used to be.
Oh, I knew they were gonna tear that shit up.
I mean, it's still there, but it's janky.
Yeah, but we do have some other places that are popping up that are
yeah.
doing that. They got bowling alleys and a movie theater and all this kind of stuff in there. So, but they really, man, they are hitting it. That shit, These damn prophets over here.
But it's also like the quality
I
of
think
movies
it's
have
actually-
dropped quite a bit. You know what I mean? Since COVID, at least, sort of like more rushed out, I would say. And like you're getting like before when you guys used to talk about movies, it'd be one or two, and like if you guys talked about a movie, I must have heard about it, watched it, right? But I got so much like streaming, which is essentially direct to DVD. You know what I mean? You get a
Yeah.
lot of that slop on there mixed in there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are just overwhelmed with the movies. They don't know what to watch nowadays, right?
True.
You know, television competes with movies 1-to-1. There is no, because, but they're different. Actually, television's more adventurous. I mean, cable television is much more adventurous than movies.
Man.
Yeah, scary.
He called it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, say what you will, he did. And Martin and I always talk about this. We always talk about back in the day when we used to see a lot of those movies on the screen. You never see that today.
No, I know.
All the stuff there was a theater on the college campus called
yeah?
Adobe Theater, and Martin and I would go see all these small budget films on the big screen that you'll never see today.
Really? What'd you guys see?
Well, nothing you'd ever heard of.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a bunch of like there was I'll give you an example. There was a woman who ran it, and she decided like she was just going to show a lot of gay cinema.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even making fun of it. They were interesting movies, but
You and Martin watched them together?
yeah, well, yeah, naked.
Holding
Yeah, yeah, you childish motherfucker. Yeah, we hold each other's dick over there.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, man, you could have left that alone.
You left it hanging.
but I saw Pi there and Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I would go to a bunch of animation festivals.
Yeah.
There used to be something called the Sick and Twisted Animation Festival. They would show anime.
Yeah, they would show a lot of Miyazaki movies
Oh,
there
yeah?
before anybody really over here knew
You
who
see
he
Akira
was.
over there?
I did.
Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
yeah?
Akira
Yep.
was my first movie that I saw there. I was living in Waco as a teenager. I was like about 17, about 17 or 18, and Akira I loved, man.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
they said they were showing it at I'd never seen it. I read the comics, graphic novels, and they said it's showing at the Dolby Theater in Austin, and I drove to Austin at that theater to watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was the first thing I saw in Austin. But anyway, the point is, because we saw a bunch of documentaries, independent films, and I just kind of reminisce about the days that we would actually discover these movies, and you're never going to see that again.
Well, it might be the thing that Spielberg said, right? Where like if you watch Lincoln, it'll only be $7. Maybe those movies are just gonna be cheaper to watch, right?
Yeah. Well, listen. I mean, you're still getting it. It was just something. It was just being nostalgic. I talk about those animation festivals. Now that's something like Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
They can just put it out, right? No need to
Yeah.
actually screen it or anything.
Yeah, we see independent and interesting movies all the time,
That's fair.
but there's just streaming and they're just harder to find.
Yeah, they're a lot harder to find. The higher the budget, the more attention they command. Especially when you go on the carousel. The carousel is
Yeah.
all the big, bright stuff, expensive stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to find the smaller movies, you kind of got to look them up on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah. You ever heard of this movie Itchy the Killer?
I heard it's really gory. That's
Yeah.
one thing I know about it.
I saw that at the theater. I saw a lot of Japanese movies.
Audition.
Yeah. A lot of what's his name? The Lord of the Rings. What's his
Peter
name?
Jackson's like Brain Dead.
A lot of early Peter Jackson movies showed at the theater. I saw
Kevin
Dead
Smith
Alive.
movies.
Kevin Smith movies. Yeah. Yeah, man, there was a lot of stuff. We can go on and on. Anyway, man, it was just something cool about going to the theater and see them. And now you can still see them, but it's just different. It's just a different experience.